I got a call to rescue a swarm of bees, and here's how I did it. When I showed up, I found a beautiful swarm hanging off the side of a branch. So I set up their temporary transit hive, and I used my garden shears to carefully cut through the branch they were hanging on. When honeybees are in swarms like this, it means they're looking for a new place to live and just taking a little break on their search for another hive. This is because the queen bee is actually a terrible flyer, and she needs some rest while traveling. Swarms of bees tend to be very docile since they don't have resources like brood or honey to defend. So to get the bees and the queen directly in the new hive as quickly and carefully as possible, I gave the branch a few good shakes and the colony fell right in. Bees have pretty tough exoskeletons, so the short drop doesn't harm them at all. They were happy to have a new place to live and started to settle in the hive. So I closed up the hive, and it was another successful day of saving the bees. I got a call to remove a colony of bees from a compost bin, and here's how I did it. The colony had been there for months, and there were tens of thousands of bees. So I started to carefully move the comb structure from the bin into a temporary travel hive. I put the comb into frames using rubber bands to secure it for transit. Then I started to get the bees into the temporary hive by scooping them up with my hands. These bees were pretty gentle and did not try to sting me as I worked with care and intention, all while looking for the queen bee, who is the largest bee in the colony. After I removed a lot of the worker bees, I suddenly saw the queen crawling on the side of the bin, so I put her in a clip to keep her safe. There she is! I put the queen in the new hive, and all the other bees started to follow her scent. So I closed up the hive, I loaded it into my truck to take them to their new home, and it was another successful day of saving the bees. These bees started to build a hive on a patio chair, and I was called to remove them. The first thing I did was lift the cover of the chair to reveal a beautiful beehive with thousands of honeybees. I started to carefully remove the hive from the side of the chair, always looking for the queen bee every step of the way. As I removed each piece of comb, I put it in wooden frames of the new beehive using rubber bands to secure it for transit so that the bees could use it later on. There was a lot of comb, but also a ton of bees. So I used my hands and started scooping bees into their new hive while looking for the queen. Soon enough, I found her. Do you see her in there? She's the largest bee in the hive. There she is. I put her into the new hive, and all the other bees started to go right in since they wanted to be with their queen. And this was all actually on the second story of a house, so I used some rope to lower the hive to the ground, and I saved the bees. These bees were building a hive in a water meter box in someone's front yard. I was called to remove them, and here's how I did it. The first step was lifting the lid of the box up. As you can see, there were a ton of bees. They had been starting to build some honeycomb right on the lid of that box, so I gently set it down. There were so many bees, but the most important bee was the queen, so I needed to make sure I got her in the new hive. So I decided to give that top a few shakes, and all the bees fell into their new hive. I set down the lid, and I would start to look for the queen, hoping that she fell into the box when I gave that lid a few good shakes. I thought I saw her, so I searched a little more. Do you see her? There she is. We got her.